A mother wrote to ask Amy for advice on tween sleepovers. She's 2 daughters, one of whom has come out as lesbian, and some of their friends have too. So how should a parent navigate who to let spend the night?
You just said the word, it's tricky.
Yeah.
It's tricky. And I think it's all in the way that you speak to your children. I mean, like if they're 11, 12 years old, like it's going to be a different conversation than if they're, 18, 19 years old if you're having sleepovers. I came out when I was about 18. If I was told, when I was 11 or 12, hey, you can't go to Emma's sleepover because you're gay, that's really traumatic. That's really troublesome. And that puts a lot more shame on top of the shame that you're already having. So it's a really tricky one, but I think it's completely up to parents' discretion. It's how you communicate with your kids, because if you're having honest, open conversations, and kids aren't stupid. They want to have these conversations. If you're putting barriers and having open dialogue with them about, who's sleeping over, if it's Dylan or Emma or Bethany, I don't think any of these names are real, but it's important, but it's how you chat with your children.
But, if we all go back to being about 11 or 12, I feel like the definition of adolescence is to find the workaround of the rules.
Yes, yeah.
And so I feel like it's not about the sleepover per se, because if you're, heck bent on, breaking the rules, you don't need to do it at a sleepover.
No.
Just newsflash. You're gonna find anywhere, everywhere, at school, sleepovers,
stairwells,
bathrooms, stairwells. Like, to be very honest, if we think that, it sounds like this is from an 80s movie, that, oh gosh, sleepover stuff happens. It's like, it's
Listen, I was gonna go kiss Sally in the woods or whoever. I was gonna wait till I turn 18 and go to the gay bar, so it doesn't matter, right? So, I mean, 19, legal in Nova Scotia.
That's right.
Blaze is 15 now, but I remember when she was 10, 11 years old, she asked to have a boy sleep over. Yeah. She had a best friend who was a boy. And at the time, we said no. And in hindsight, I'm looking back at it now and thinking, you know what, I don't think we did the right thing. Yeah. I don't think we did. And maybe we have a second chance with Dash, I just don't. There's that assumption that platonic relationships can exist. And here I am, what a hypocrite, because most of my best friends are men, right? So what an absolute hypocrite. And she would question us and say, well, why can't he sleep over? He's my friend. And I'd say, well, because he's a boy.
It's so hard for parents, too, because we've also had these ongoing conversations around consent and making sure that we protect our kids. And so it's like these conversations, that's why we have to start having them, young. Yeah. And I don't know what I would do in any of these situations. What I do agree with you, what you said, Mel, is that, some straight identified kids with same-sex friends can get up to all kinds of shenanigans. I'm just saying. I think that there's all kinds of things that can happen at any given point in time. So you either have to decide if you trust your child, if you trust that they will come to you if there's a problem. If this child is saying it's platonic, then you have to give them the benefit of the doubt and just arm them with the best knowledge.
I will say the one thing you can control is how well or not well you know the parents of the house.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right? Yeah. Because, again, okay, let's say you're sleepover, that's great, but then you want to make sure that there's proper oversight and that there is still someone who's responsible in the household. Because, again, the kids are going to get up to no good anyway. So you need someone who's going to be quick on their feet, someone who's going to be, supersonic hearing. I'm just kidding, not kidding. But, you want a parent that that you can trust to intervene if something.
Because you could be having these conversations, but if they aren't, it doesn't make a difference.
Yes,
it doesn't make a difference. Yeah.